Pretty cutting.
I don't see it as cutting at all. My brother and I love each other. I love him deeply. There has been a lot of pain between the two of us, especially the last 6 years. None of anything that I've written and anything I've included is ever intended to hurt my family.
Last time we'll be living together.
It's been a fairly emotional experience. Well, bearing in mind I cook him and feed him basically every day, I think he's done rather well. He does do a bit of the washing up, then he leaves most of it in the sink, and then it comes back in the morning and I have to wash it up.
Oh, the lies.
Yeah. He snores a lot as well, keeps me out all night long.
Does give a full picture of the situation as we were growing up, and also squashes this idea that somehow my wife was the one that destroyed the relationship between these two brothers.
The quote in this book where you refer to your brother as your beloved brother and arch nemesis. Strong words. What did you mean by that?
There has always been this competition between us, weirdly. I think it really plays into, or is played by, the
Things just took a frosty turn behind palace walls. And Prince William isn't playing games. While Harry and Meghan keep stirring headlines, William's response is a masterclass in silence, strategy, and royal realness. No interviews, no drama, just firm boundaries and a future-focused mindset. But what's really going on behind the scenes? Is the royal rift officially permanent? Stick around, because we're diving into the quiet power move that's shaking the monarchy louder than any tell-all ever could. So the royal drama is heating up again, and this time it's not Harry making the headlines, it's Prince William and the wall he's building between himself and his younger brother. Seriously, you could feel the chill. No interviews, no press releases, just pure calculated silence. And honestly, that silence says everything.
Mom died. Mm-hmm. Even when you were in the same school, in high school.
Sibling rivalry.
Your brother told you, pretend we don't know each other.
Yeah, and at the time it hurt. I couldn't make sense of it. I was like, what do you mean? We're now at the same school. Like, I haven't seen you for ages. Now we get to hang out together? He's like, no, when we're at school we don't know each other. And I took that personally. But yes, you're absolutely right. You hit the nail on the head. Like, we had a very similar traumatic experience, and then we dealt with it two very different ways.
William tried to talk to you
about if he will attend his father, King Charles III's coronation in May.
I don't know how staying silent is ever going to make things better.
If you're invited to the coronation, will you come?
There's a lot that can happen between now and then. But, the door is always open. The ball is in their court. There's a lot to be discussed, and I really hope that they are willing to sit down and talk about it. She was the villain. She was the third person in the marriage. She needed to rehabilitate her image.
You and your brother both directly asked your dad not to marry Camilla.
Yes.
Why?
We didn't think it was necessary. We thought that it was going to cause more harm than good. I don't want history to repeat itself. I do not want to be a single dad. And I certainly don't want my children to have a life without a mother or a father. I was shouting back at him. It wasn't nice. It wasn't pleasant at all. And he snapped. And he pushed me to the floor.
He knocked you over?
He knocked me over. I landed on the dog bowl.
You cut your back?
Yeah, I cut my back. I didn't know about it at the time.
It all started when King Charles's aide reportedly had a super hush-hush meeting with two of Harry and Meghan's team. And just like clockwork, the tabloids went wild. Why? Because this private little meeting just so happened to hit the press right when Princess Catherine was out there slaying at Wimbledon. Like, are we really supposed to believe that's a coincidence? People aren't that naive anymore. If anything, it smelled like a textbook media distraction, aka a classic Sussex PR move. But here...
I know. Hey, everybody. Right there, we have the author of the new bestseller, Spare. I'm here with Prince Harry. Prince Harry. Harry, I believe you said I could call you Harry.
I actually said you can call me whatever you want.
Okay, well, obviously, because we're such dear friends. Now that I have read your book, I feel like we know each other very well. And we had the wonderful interview the other night that everyone acclaimed as groundbreaking. But the thing is that even after reading 400 pages of your book, there's only so much you can fit into 400 pages, and I feel like I don't know you as well as I'd like to. My team up there in the Late Show labs have come up with 15...
You have a lab here?
Oh, yes.
That explains a lot.
Yes. I'll hook you up. Now, my team has come up with 15 questions that are scientifically calculated to plumb the depths of anyone, to reveal their soul to the world as much as good as your book
The
is.
two of you, or are you quite different in taste of music?
We're quite similar.
Varies a bit.
I'd say his was pretty shocking, but mine was quite
really?
good. But apart from that, we tend to like pretty much the same music.
Yeah. These two, so you play this stuff, and I'm sitting there going, downstairs somewhere, is there no place?
It's just like houses up and down the country.
Yeah.
Turn that racket down. Yeah.
And you've had, obviously,
But here's what made the whole thing even more suspicious. Prince William was nowhere in the picture, not in the headlines, not in the room, not even in the conversation. And that absence, it spoke louder than any statement ever could. Some insiders said he wasn't even told it was happening. Others claimed he knew but simply chose not to get involved. Either way, the message was crystal clear. William is done with all of it.
Example. All I can hear is her laugh in my head. And that sort of crazy laugh of where there was just pure happiness shown on her face.
In just-released photos and a new documentary, Princes William and Harry are sharing their favorite childhood memories of their mother.
Hold up. There are several conversations. There's a conversation with you. With Harry. About how dark your baby is going to be? Potentially, and what that would mean or look like.
Sources close to the palace say he doesn't ask about Harry, doesn't talk about him, and doesn't engage. And honestly, I get it. After years of public mess, explosive interviews, and what royal insiders are calling flat-out betrayal, William's decision to stay quiet isn't just about brotherly beef anymore. It's a strategic royal move. He's not just protecting his own peace, he's guarding his family, his kids, and literally the future of the monarchy from the chaos Harry and Meghan drag around like a thundercloud. And really, can you blame him? At some point, when someone keeps throwing matches, you stop standing near the fire. William's silence isn't cold, it's controlled. And in a world where every headline feels like a PR game, sometimes saying nothing is the most powerful move of all.
You know, my brother and I love each other. I love him deeply. There has been a lot of pain between the two of us, especially the last 6 years. He was shouting at me, I was shouting back at him. It wasn't nice, it wasn't pleasant at all. And he snapped, and he pushed me to the floor.
He knocked you over.
He knocked me over. I landed on the dog bowl.
You cut your back.
Yeah, I cut my back. I didn't know about it at the time. She goes, "What's that?" I was like, what? I actually didn't know what she was talking about. And I looked in the mirror, I was like...
What's absolutely wild is how this whole PR circus feels like it was ripped straight from Meghan's old playbook. Like we've seen this strategy before. Stir the pot during someone else's big moment, then act like it was just a coincidence. The royal watchers are clocking the pattern, and it's not subtle anymore. I mean, 4 whole days have passed between the actual meeting and when it suddenly hit the press. Just enough time to let that perfectly orchestrated news cycle drown out Catherine's picture-perfect Wimbledon appearance. And let's not forget the fact that she looked like a total queen in that custom self-portrait dress. Elegant, composed, and everything the monarchy wants to project right now. Meanwhile, instead of celebrating that shining moment, what did we get? More Sussex drama flooding the headlines. Coincidence? The timing was too perfect not to raise eyebrows. It's giving strategic distraction, and the public's catching on.
Was the move about getting away from the UK press, because the press is, you know, is everywhere, or was the move because you weren't getting enough support from the firm?
It was both.
Both.
I needed to do this for my family. This is not a surprise to anybody. It's really sad that it's got to this point, but I've got to do something for my own mental health, for my wife's, and for Archie's as well, because I could see where this was headed.
They didn't want him to be a prince or a princess, not knowing what the gender would be, which would be different from protocol, and that he wasn't going to receive security.
What?
It was really hard. Look, I was really ashamed to say it at the time, and ashamed to have to admit it to Harry, especially, because I know how much loss he's suffered.
Then there's the whole household drama. Suddenly, just because Meghan and Harry's staff had a sit-down with King Charles's aide, the media's calling them Harry's household staff, as if he's still got some kind of official royal setup going on. But let's be honest here, he doesn't. Harry's not a working royal anymore, and there's no such thing as a formal household attached to him. That kind of language feels like smoke and mirrors. It's branding, not reality. A fantasy they are desperately trying to keep alive so they can hold on to some royal shine. I mean, calling their current team a household is like calling your part-time Airbnb cleaner the head of your estate. It's giving delusion. But let's get back to William, because that's where the real power play is happening. His refusal to even acknowledge anything Sussex-related isn't just a personal choice, it's a whole PR strategy, and a smart one at that. By staying completely out of the mess, William and Catherine make themselves untouchable. If anything goes sideways between Harry and King Charles, the Waleses can't be dragged into it. No rumor about them pulling strings, no headlines blaming them for royal drama. It's a clean break, one that protects their image and their future.
You write about a contentious meeting you had with him in 2021. You said, I looked at Willie, really looked at him, maybe for the first time since we were boys. I took it all in. His familiar scowl, which had always been his default in dealings with me, his alarming baldness, more advanced than my own, his famous resemblance to Mummy, which was fading with time, with age. It's pretty cutting.
I don't see it as cutting at all. My brother and I love each other. I love him deeply. There has been a lot of pain between the two of us, especially the last 6 years. None of anything that I've written and anything I've included is ever intended to hurt my family. But it does give a full picture of the situation as we were growing up.
And honestly, it's working like a charm. The public sees William as the calm, level-headed royal, the guy who doesn't do drama, doesn't feed the tabloids, and doesn't chase the spotlight. He's laser-focused on duty, family, and keeping the institution ready. And then you've got Harry and Meghan making waves with chaotic headlines and constant reinventions. 1 minute, it's a docuseries. The next, it's a podcast. And then a memoir. The contrast couldn't be more obvious. The Wales family is playing the long game, and playing it well. No theatrics, no outbursts, just quiet, dignified distance. And in the court of public opinion, that silence is golden.
What pain feels like. My father and my brother, they are trapped. They don't get to leave. And I have huge compassion for that.
Hold up.
There are several conversations.
There's a
about
conversation with you.
With Harry.
About how dark your baby is going to be?
Potentially, and what that would mean or look like.
Ooh.
That conversation I am never going to share. But at the time it was awkward. I was a bit shocked.
Can you tell us what the question was?
No, I'm not comfortable sharing that.
Okay.
William's move here isn't just about staying out of family drama. It's about taking full control of the narrative and setting the tone for the future of the monarchy. And let's be clear, in that vision, there's zero room for people who treat royal tradition like it's the set of a Netflix reality show. The message is subtle, but strong. This isn't Hollywood. It's Buckingham Palace. William's drawing a line, and if you're not here for duty, legacy, and real purpose, you're not welcome in this chapter of the crown.
Years of the Prince's trust.
You're very kind. Thank you very much.
Tell us how...
I can't believe it is 30 years. Do you know that
30
thing?
years.
It is rather worrying. And I'm still alive.
Tell us about the different ways the Trust supports young people all over the UK.
Well, as I say, over 30 years, tried to find ways, meeting the particular needs and challenges.
From the very beginning, Harry and Meghan style has felt more Beverly Hills than Buckingham. Private jets, flashy interviews, multi-million-dollar streaming deals. It's all felt more like tabloid bait than royal service. Meanwhile, William's just been keeping his head down, showing up for the crown, staying consistent, and giving us grown-up future king energy. It's not flashy, but it's effective. That contrast, it's everything. On one side, you've got noise. On the other, quiet power. At this point, it's no longer just a family split. It's a full-blown branding war. And here's what's wild. Silence is winning. No interviews, no statements, no social media clapbacks. Just dignified distance. Insiders say William hasn't just emotionally checked out from Sussex drama. He's reportedly taken steps to have Harry and Meghan formally excluded from royal events. And we're not talking just the big public stuff. We're talking everything. No parades, no balcony waves, no surprise Sandringham strolls, and definitely no garden party cameos. That's not a petty move, that's a calculated boundary.
And they're now turning over 30 million
Wow.
pounds a year. And they've got offices, you know, in Los Angeles and New York and
Brilliant.
London. I mean, they are fantastic. It's called Attic.
Right.
I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, you must be.
Now, the media nowadays often tends to demonise young people, and you know, with terms like hoodies and thugs and things like that. I mean, they're all myths that the Trust is trying to dispel and to try and give young people back their self-esteem.
Exactly. But I mean, again, it's very easy, isn't it, to create stereotypes. I just know that there are a lot of people who appear like that, but underneath it all are actually uncertain and unsure of themselves and perhaps insecure. And as I say, all it needs a lot of the time is to provide them with motivation and self-esteem.
Yeah.
What's even more telling, palace insiders claim King Charles is quietly honoring that boundary. And if that's true, it's a big deal. It means William's influence is strong, and it shows he's thinking long-term. Because when trust is shattered, you don't just let people wander back into your house and pretend nothing's broke. You protect the space, the legacy, and the people inside it. At the heart of all of this is control. William can't stop Charles from having private heart-to-hearts with Harry, and honestly, he's not trying to. Charles is still a father at the end of the day, not some cold-blooded monarch robot. But William's making one thing very clear. Keep that emotional connection personal. Don't let it leak into official business. Because once those lines blur, the whole monarchy starts looking like an episode of a messy reality show, and nobody wants that.
How important are William and Harry of keeping you in touch with what's relevant today and what's in fashion?
Right. I'm sure they think they're very important. Yeah, I do. I mean, they are very good at keeping me in touch with what's going on a bit. And particularly on the sort of music front and things like that. I can't keep up with all the different new bands and everything else that bob up on the scene.
One you did miss was PJ and Duncan. They were very good.
No, they were.
When I was at school,
Sir, they were
loved
brilliant.
them, definitely. That's those
They
two.
were. we had a very brief music career a few years ago.
Very,
former
very
life.
And you've got to admit, it's a PR masterclass. By completely stepping away from the chaos, William's taken away Meghan and Harry's favorite plotline. No more William blocked our invite drama or Catherine rolled her eyes at me clickbait. There's just nothing. No presence, no comments, no involvement. And for a couple who seem to thrive on having someone to blame, that silence is deafening. Remember when Harry publicly said he was just trying to protect the Queen from the wrong people around her? Yeah, no one had to guess who that was aimed at. The message was crystal clear, and the shade was flying straight toward William and Catherine. But here's the thing. That strategy doesn't work anymore. There's no interaction, no presence, not even a photo op to twist. William has made himself untouchable. And that silence, it's checkmate. You can't weaponize someone who's not even in the room.
I don't want history to repeat itself. I do not want to be a single dad. And I certainly don't want my children to have a life without a mother or a father.
But don't get it twisted. William might be quiet, but he's not just sitting back sipping tea. He and Catherine have been stepping up, showing up, and absolutely owning their roles. While Harry and Meghan are busy making headlines with drama, the Waleses are over here giving the monarchy a glow-up. Case in point, Catherine at Wimbledon. She wasn't just there to watch tennis. She was there to remind everyone who the real queen-in-waiting is. That crisp, white self-portrait dress? Pure elegance. Structured. Graceful. Timeless. And then she flipped the script with a cobalt blue number at the men's final. Regal, modern, and just the right amount of bold. This wasn't just about looking good. It was about sending a message. Stability, class, royalty without the noise. When the UK sees Catherine, they're not just seeing a fashion icon, they're seeing the future of the crown. And let's be real, that future looks a whole lot calmer without Harry and Meghan stirring the pot in the background. Meanwhile, on the other side of the Atlantic, or the tabloids, Harry and Meghan can't seem to escape the chaos cloud. Leaks, denials, anonymous friends whispering to the press, and for some reason these headlines always magically appear just when the Wales family steps into the spotlight. The timing? Yeah, it's not a coincidence, it's a strategy, and the public is starting to catch on.
Squashes this idea that somehow my wife was the one that destroyed the relationship between these two brothers.
I think so many people around the world watched you and your brother grow up and feel like you two were inseparable. And yet in reading the book, you have lived separate lives from the time your mom died.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you were in the same school, in high school.
Sibling rivalry.
Your brother told you, pretend we don't know each other.
Yeah, and at the time it hurt. I couldn't make sense of it. I was like, what do you mean? We're now at the same school. Like, I haven't seen you for ages. Now we get to hang out together? He's like, no, when we're at school, we don't know each other.
The Sussex playbook hasn't changed. Shift attention, create noise, control the narrative. But it's not hitting the way it used to. People are over it. The sympathy has dried up. And now it just feels tired. While the working royals are serving consistency and grace, Harry and Meghan are stuck in a cycle of reruns. And the audience is tuning out. And William's response? Perfection. He's letting them say whatever they want, because at this point he knows silence speaks louder. Meanwhile, Catherine is standing beside him like the ultimate partner in poise. She's not making statements. She doesn't have to. Her presence says it all. Poised, composed, crown ready. Her Wimbledon moments aren't just about outfits. They were deliberate, powerful statements without a single word. That's the brilliance of Catherine. Her actions echo through every headline without ever needing to clap back.
Your mom died.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you were in the same school, in high school.
Sibling rivalry.
Your brother told you, pretend we don't know each other.
Yeah, and at the time it hurt. I couldn't make sense of it. I was like, what do you mean? We're now at the same school. Like, I haven't seen you for ages. Now we get to hang out together? He's like, no, when we're at school, we don't know each other. And I took that personally. But yes, you're absolutely right. You hit the nail on the head. Like, we had a very similar traumatic experience. And then we dealt with it two very different ways.
William tried to talk to you occasionally about your mom, but as a child, you couldn't respond.
For me, it was never a case of, I don't want to talk about it with you, I just don't know how to talk about it. I never ever thought that maybe talking about it with my brother or with anybody else at that point would be...
And the most powerful part of all of this? It's the coordination. William keeps it zipped. Catherine keeps it classy. And their kids? They're being raised in a bubble of calm, completely untouched by the chaos that constantly swirls around their uncle and their aunt. That's the real legacy, not the drama, not headlines, but peace. And that right there is the Wales family's biggest win. It's not just about keeping Charlotte and George away from the tabloids. It's about shielding them from a family feud that could have easily seeped into their everyday lives. That kind of foresight, it's rare. And honestly, it shows a level of leadership the monarchy has been desperate for. William and Catherine aren't just thinking about now, they're thinking long term. Protecting their kids from the mess isn't just good parenting, it's smart PR. And more importantly, it's setting up a cleaner future for the crown.
First and last time we'll be living together.
It's been a fairly emotional experience. Well, bearing in mind I cook him and feed him basically every day, I think he's done rather well. He does do a bit of the washing up, then he leaves most of it in the sink, and then it comes back in the morning and I have to wash it up.
Oh, the lies.
Yeah. He snores a lot as well, keeps me out all night long.
Now let's talk about the Sussex side. Because while the Wales family is out here playing 4D chess with silence, Harry and Meghan are still using the same old tactics. Leaks that come out at suspiciously perfect moments, accidental photo releases, anonymous sources mysteriously whispering to the press. We've seen this pattern too many times for it to be random. And that recent meeting with King Charles's aide, yeah, that wasn't about healing. That was a calculated move meant to dominate headlines and shift focus right on cue. What really gave it away? The fact that the photos were taken days before they were released. If it were genuine, we'd have seen it in real time. But no, it was saved, timed, and dropped like a PR nuke. That's not reconciliation, that's manipulation. And at this point, even casual royal watchers can smell the strategy a mile away. Insiders believe Meghan is still chasing this dream, this idea that she and Harry can still build their own royalty-adjacent empire, a version of the crown without the responsibilities, but with all the perks. The problem is, reality doesn't work like that. Without official roles, support from the public, or the institution they walked away from, all that's left is branding, and not even the fresh kind. We're talking recycled outrage, faded connections, and drama reruns on a loop.
There's a quote in this book where you refer to your brother as your beloved brother and arch nemesis. Strong words. What did you mean by that?
There has always been this competition between us, weirdly. I think it really plays into, or is played by.
This is why moments like Wimbledon hit so hard. When Catherine walks into a room, she doesn't have to try to be royal, she just is. The grace, the legacy, the respect, it's baked into her every move. No need for interviews or carefully posed Instagram shots. She shows up, and the room knows. That's the real deal. Meanwhile, Meghan might be a fashion icon in Hollywood circles, but back in the UK, Catherine is the future queen. And that crown energy, it's unmissable. Let's not pretend this is just about fashion either. Catherine's white self-portrait dress wasn't just a pretty outfit. It was powerful, structured, confident. The cobalt blue number she wore after, commanding and poised without being flashy. That's the magic of not having to compete for attention. You don't need gimmicks because your presence is already enough. And at the heart of all this, power. Not just the kind that comes from a title, but the kind that shapes how the public sees you. Harry and Meghan have spent years trying to steer their own narrative, trying to control how the world sees them. But William and Catherine, they've pulled off the ultimate power move. They've stopped playing the narrative game altogether. No statements, no rebuttals, no reactive interviews, just quiet confidence and clear boundaries. And in the royal arena, that kind of composure isn't just classy, it's the ultimate checkmate, game over.
You know, my brother and I love each other. I love him deeply. There has been a lot of pain between the two of us, especially the last 6 years. He was shouting at me, I was shouting back at him. It wasn't nice, it wasn't pleasant at all. And he snapped, and he pushed me to the floor.
He knocked you over.
He knocked me over. I landed on the dog bowl.
You cut your back.
Yeah, I cut my back. I didn't know about it at the time. She goes, what's that? I was like, what? I actually didn't know what she was talking about. And I looked in the mirror, I was like,
As the drama around Harry and Meghan continues its usual cycle, up, down, explode, repeat, one thing has stayed constant: William's silence. And that silence, it's louder than any press release or palace insider leak. He's not clapping back, he's not playing the media game, and he's definitely not letting old wounds shape what's next. To him, the future is crystal clear. It's about building a monarchy that stands strong, unshaken, respected, and beyond the reach of chaos. And if that means cutting ties, keeping distance, and drawing a permanent line in the royal sand, then so be it. Stability over scandal, legacy over noise. That's the William way. Want to keep spilling royalty with us? Hit that like, follow, and stay tuned, because the palace drama is far from over.